Welcome back to Pop Culture Roll Call, the show where our hosts are watching The Magicians by only viewing the scenes that their character is present for. This is Season 1, Episode 1, Unauthorized Magic.
Welcome back to an episode of Pop Culture Roll Call. I'm your host, Mike. I'll be watching everything from the point of view of Penny. To the left of me, as always,
it's Dasha. I'll be watching everything from the point of view of Margo.
in front of me, as always,
It's Colin, watching everything from the point of view of Eliot, as always.
right here, right now,
Hey, it's Brian. I watch as Quentin.
and creeping in the background often.
It's producer James.
Well, before we start,
Before we start,
thank you everybody who came to the live stream. Woo!
yeah, a little trip in Buffy.
What do we watch?
Why
don't I remember?
The storyteller.
Storytelling one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where Jonathan gets the movie camera and is doing the whole...
Mockumentary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's fun. We talked a lot about that, playing with media and sort of like how you present media in your television shows, and like doing one-off episodes that kind of play with your format after coming off Kevin Can Fuck Himself, where it was kind of the whole core theme of the show. And as we jump into Magicians, curious if our wish that all TV shows do this more is going to be fulfilled.
I haven't seen enough to know how likely for a gimmick we are.
You don't think part of one episode is enough to call what I can only assume is 4+ seasons full of acclaimed content?
Not enough.
Not enough. Thank you all
Based
for
on what
coming
I've
out.
seen.
Yeah, thank you all for coming out, and thanks for listening or watching along. If you just want to do it that way too, over on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not part of the Patreon, you're welcome to. Pop Culture Roll Call at patreon.com/Pop Culture Roll Call.
There you
Cut
go.
that out. Make me sound clean.
Do you do that in real life? Like when you talk to someone, you say something like, cut that out. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. I like to imagine somebody's like, I'm going to go budget the $5 tier, and I fuck up. He's like, well, still $1, but,
Yeah.
they're not worth it. Not professional enough.
Thank you to Stephanie for suggesting that we hadn't done it yet. It was very popular. Won the first time on the poll and won it right away. So great job.
And then also, like, my brain afterwards was like, wait a minute, did someone go through all of our live recordings to make note of what we did or did not do to make sure we got all the good ones?
Well, she did. She said that she went looking for that episode because she wanted to hear us talk about it, and it wasn't there.
We failed.
We did.
Wait, we don't.
No, we don't fail. I think
don't
all the
fail.
other
They
fans who didn't do that ahead of time, they all failed.
Yeah. You shift blame.
We've done enough work on this show. It's time for y'all to fucking buckle up. Do something for yourselves.
This is actually an intervention.
Yeah, it's actually an intervention. New show, new energy. Fuck you all.
Speaking of new show, I think we should familiarize anybody who might be new to the podcast with kind of what we do here.
That was a great transition. 10 out of 10.
Thank you for that pass over here. So yes, if you are joining us for the first time for Magicians, because specifically we're doing Magicians, welcome. We're going to watch the show, but not normally. So each character, I take each character that our hosts are going to watch as, and I cut up the scene specifically for them. So, for example, Brian is watching as Quentin. He's only getting Quentin scenes. He's not getting anyone else's scenes. And usually I keep this as more of a discovery, but there are more characters you could have been. This is not an obvious 4-character situation. There's some people that are never going to be seen or seen way less. So
Interesting.
please don't email with, but they missed all the scenes. I know they did.
Yeah, it is the core conceit of the show. We can only have so many people on this couch.
That's true.
It can only fit so many butts.
Couch.
No.
We can
'cause
add
need
that to
more
the plane.
Well, no, they're already buying us a plane. 737. Thank you very much. Looking for it in the mail.
Double-decker couch.
Double-decker couch.
Just up here.
So PO box.
We don't.
Do you have a P.O. box?
Yeah,
'Cause
did you
that's the
start
next
a
thing we
P.O.
need.
box?
He has done this from the beginning.
I
He
know.
kept saying P.O. box. Multiple people have reached out to me being like, hey, can we send you something? And I'm like, no.
Mike's a liar.
We don't actually have one. And I'm not giving you my address. Sorry.
Except for that one person who did send us the angel.
I believe that
was
yes,
fantastic.
the angel puppet, which is up here. But I do believe that was sent to a place of business.
Yeah,
so
it was sent to
worked
my
out.
business.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you doxed yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing the true good work and throwing your life on the line.
I work in a dark corner of that office. Nobody that works there know I work
in
there.
a panic room at an office.
Where else would you put a bunch of beta tapes?
Yeah.
And then finally, before we get started, if you're watching this on YouTube, hello. It means that we didn't screw this up.
Yeah.
If you're not watching on YouTube, hi, you'll get the podcast in your feed, same as always. But we're doing a video version now. We're trying to, at least.
It was time. The time has moved forward, and we were getting everybody's on video.
I will say this has helped me justify buying more clothing and socks.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that you weren't already doing.
Can I business expense my clothing?
No, we talked about this.
We also aren't technically a business.
Yeah,
technically
this is a donation only platform.
Don't tell my wife. He says, while still married, hopefully she doesn't find this out and divorce me.
Does she listen to this?
Good question.
I'm going to text her after this.
Yeah.
Do you think we're all going to be on good behavior because we're on video, or worse behavior?
Worse.
Worse,
You think
much worse.
Significantly worse.
Can you R-rate a podcast?
We are R-rated, yes.
Fuck yeah.
I've said like 4 curses.
The last show literally had a swear in the
I know,
title.
but now it's video.
No, it's just the letter F.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You can't curse in video. It's different. Let's start off with the magicians. People have been
let's get into
talking
it.
about that. We have a lot of things to talk about, and I don't have the timer, so I don't know how much we're pushing up on our hour mark.
I know.
It's been an hour already.
It's been
really has.
And come back next week for season 1, episode 2.
This is how much content you get, all new listeners. We vaguely touch on the vibes of the show and then move on with
we
our
haven't even
lives.
done that.
No, we haven't.
Do we all start with opening credits?
I start with credits. Oh,
Yes.
I start with a scene, and then like 3 more scenes.
I'm getting
we found our lead.
Yeah, every season, something James didn't say. Every season, we pick one person to be the main character, which just means they get like 4 times more work than everybody every week, and no additional benefit.
Theoretically, this is a 44-minute show, like most hour-long shows on
ideally,
television. You cut out the commercials, get 44 minutes.
One would assume.
I had 41 and a half minutes.
I have
is
a
your
thick
name-
11.
Is your name The Magicians? Are you?
It's me, Jonathan Magicians.
I have 4 minutes.
Yikes. Okay, I'm second longest.
I had 5 minutes.
Yes.
We're carrying this.
High five.
High five.
We are equally carrying this.
We can't say high five and not high five anymore like we always used to because
I
we're
know,
on video.
we're
Now
way-
people are going to know that we leave each other hanging.
But they
all
also
the
know
time.
that you're too far to actually high five without.
That's the problem.
getting
I've
in
got
my way.
short
We need
arms.
to
This is the
find
problem of being
different
5'5".
Not enough milk.
I open up with a nice little shot of the Statue of Liberty,
Oh.
Hell yeah, America.
Okay.
and then it pulls.
Pull
Whoa,
back.
now.
Sorry, cut it.
No, that's a reminder.
That stays in.
Sorry,
Finally,
hell
the-
yeah, Paris,
The
France.
thing that gets us canceled
Yeah, Colin said hell yeah, America.
I do love
The
that for a new
downfall of
listener.
in this economy.
For a new listener who's like, I wonder what their vibes are. Yay, America. Whoa, there is the perfect explanation.
Yeah.
And as a nice little metaphor for America, the camera pulls back from the Statue of Liberty into the Midtown Mental Health Clinic, where I am at a desk playing kind of close-up magic tricks with a quarter, and the lady on the other side of the desk kind of looking through my files. She's like, wow, nice trick. You must be a hit at parties. And then it kind of cuts to a party.
Like a memory of a party. Is that
I
what
thought it was a memory. I believe it's in the future.
Okay, got it.
So it's cutting forward, and I'm like basically at a party with like red Solo cup, just looking into the bottom of the cup. There's like a girl dancing or whatever, and I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I'm just being very shy. And then it cuts back to the clinic, and she's like, oh, so you think you're ready to leave? Like, why is that? I'm like, well, I feel better, and she said that like, oh, when I, got admitted here, I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't eat, I couldn't get out of bed. I had a feeling of not belonging anywhere. Like, I was just kind of overwhelmed. And then it cuts back to the party where I'm explaining like close-up magic to 2 women who, like, I'm like chastising them because they're talking about like CG, I guess, and I'm like, no, that's insulting to real magicians. And they're like,
CG?
like
CG,
like CGI, like computer generated, like doing the tricks with magic instead of actually doing them for real. And I'm like, no, like you're insulting the real magicians or whatever.
Oh my God, is Chris Angel going to show up in the show? Actually, we
Okay,
talked
what's
about
the
this.
over-under of David Blaine?
I feel
David
like
Blaine,
it's
I think, is high because David Blaine is a like a monolith of magic culture, whereas the like truck stop bathroom that is. Sorry, is that too mean?
Wow.
To Chris
Sorry,
Angel?
I did not know we were just taking shots at Chris Angel here today. Whoa.
I just called him a mind freak because that's what he is.
Okay, I didn't realize. This is like that time that I realized I was the only person who would make jokes about Pitbull, and I was told that that wasn't cool in 2024, and
Wait,
that
Pitbull rules.
Yeah, Pitbull is Dale.
Is it just
Dale.
me? All right, does Chris Angel, mind freak, because that's his legal name, does he visually give off a different vibe than he actually has? I feel like he gives off
No, I feel like he gives
trashy, like the game dating vibes. And every time I hear him like do a trick, he's like, "Oh, no, you just really like magic and leather."
I feel
that's obviously a character.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Like I wouldn't say Chris Angel is an incel. I wouldn't like go that far. But like I will say I feel generally that Chris Angel gives up the exact vibes that he wants to.
Chris,
like,
you have a chance to defend yourself.
Yeah. Chris, come on our show. Come on the show that opens.
Guest,
It's Chris Angel, and the first thing I introduced him with was the gas station bathroom of magicians.
Now listen. Last thing I'm gonna go on this path.
Yeah.
How wild of a magic trick would it be if halfway through us joke inviting him,
He just shows
he
up.
just shows up because he knew?
I mean, how do you beat that? Really?
How do
Maybe
you
he'd
beat
be a real magician, as I assume we're going to hear about. very
Yeah,
shortly.
I need to stop talking about
What?
Chris
There's
Angel.
no real
I'm gonna
magic
get
in this
myself-
show.
Nope.
I see finger tutting later that basically breaks time open. So
That's whole finger tutting.
Huh?
yeah. Oh, we get
Oh.
there. It's my favorite thing so far.
First of all, don't know who you are. Never seen you. Never heard at all.
What's your name, Mike?
Penny,
Penny? Okay.
I have no idea. Who
I don't
You
know. I
are-
have no fucking clue who he
I'm
is.
Margo.
you know me.
Margo and Eliot, chill.
Do I know?
Oh, we got secrets. All right,
Okay.
continue
All
on.
right.
We need
Yeah,
secrets.
I mean, it's cutting back and forth between, kind of this exit interview from the mental health facility and the party. And, the mental health facility, I'm talking about like, oh, I need to get serious in my life and, get rid of my comic books. And then at the party, like some girls waving me over and I like stand up and I turn around and walk the other way. And, in here we kind of get that like I'm graduating soon from college, I believe. I have a grad school interview for Yale. And now I'm back at the party and I'm reading a book in like, I guess my bedroom. Basically like there's like a big glass door. It's kind of a loft. It's a really kind of cool apartment, but glass door, and I'm like reading a bedroom while the party rages on outside, and I'm staying very far away from it. And I'm reading this book called Fillory and Further, Book 1. And there's like a grandfather clock on the cover, and then it basically cuts like into the book. It's like you basically get the contents of the book as a live action thing, right? And so there's the Chatwin twins, and then their older brother, and like the one of the twins is Martin. He's gloomy, who would lose himself in stories of wonder. Rupert's the older brother who is wounded in the war, and he's like a whatever. And then Jane is the family skeptic, and we all kind of they kind of walk into this grandfather clock. They open up the door of the grandfather clock and walk into it, and then walk out of a hollowed out tree on the other side in this forest.
It was like a Narnia.
It's
It's very,
literally
very
Narnia.
Narnia. Yes.
Okay.
And like, so, this magical land they walked into is Fillory, this land of magic. And it's like, oh, Martin, the older brother, thought they needed Fillory, but really Fillory needed them.
It's exactly like Narnia.
And and there's like a clock in the tree and all these weird bugs.
Is one of the bugs a Jesus allegory? It's like they're a roly-poly.
Listen, I mean,
seems
we're
pretty
like
divine.
90% of the way there anyway.
Was there one bug that had like 12 or 13 like
Other chill bugs.
just like hype men?
And then one wasp, and everyone's like, just this guy.
Everyone's like, I don't know about Wasp over here.
And then it cuts back to the party, and this girl, Jane, I think her name is. I could be horribly wrong on that. I'm sorry. My notes are a mess. She walks in, and she's kind of like telling me like, oh, you missed this girl like with these rainbow shorts who was into you. Like she had unicorns on her shirt, so she must be into magic too.
Mabel?
Her name is Julia.
Julia?
Julia.
Mabel.
Sounds like
Only
Mabel.
because Jane's
Sounds like
Chatwin.
Sure.
I don't want
yes.
you getting confused. I don't
Julia,
want these
thank
guys to
you.
get confused. Yeah.
So yeah, Julia's like kind of being like, oh, you should get out of the party. Like, you know, you might be a hit out there or whatever. And I'm like reading this book. And she's like, have you read that book 1,000 times? I'm like, well, I'm reading it one last time before I sell it on eBay. And she kind of like lies down next to me. We're clearly like long-term friends or whatever it is. And she's like, well, I called you, and I lie and say that I was at my dad's when I was clearly at this mental health facility. And like this other guy walks in, and then kind of everybody runs in, and you know, that kind of scene ends. My next scene, still before the credits, is we're on the streets in New York City, and we're going to this interview. Me and I already forgot her
Julia.
name. Julia. Thank you. Me and Julia are going to this interview for the Yale master's degree or whatever it was, graduate program. And she's kind of giving me a pep talk, and she's like, oh, I'm the angel protecting your future. And you know, we get to the building, knocks the door, no answer, open the door, and kind of nobody's here. Is this kind of cold, dark, it looks like a house, I guess. And the clock from the book is in this room. And I'm kind of looking at the clock or whatever, and I walk over towards it. And I'm so distracted by the clock that Julia is the one who first sees the dead body in the room.
Dead body.
Oh my god.
I think you said dad body.
No, he does have a dad body, but it's a dead body.
Okay, it's a dead
That's over
body?
this side of the room.
Yeah.
The dad body.
Dead body.
DDB in here.
Oh my
Credits.
god.
What is so? A dead body's got you all flustered.
I've definitely read at least the first few chapters of this book.
Amazing.
Of the book The Magician?
Yes.
This series is based on a book.
Oh.
Yeah, my wife really likes the book.
Yeah.
And the TV show.
I've read the first couple chapters, and it is accurate to
Yeah,
the
I
beginning
didn't.
of the show.
I
didn't even realize that you'd read the
not
first couple
until
chapters.
because that's the most impactful moment
Yeah,
of that
yeah,
first
absolutely.
chapter.
Dead body?
Yeah.
The dead body of the interviewer.
Dead body.
Clunk.
All right.
I don't remember anything else.
This has been like flash forward like 10 minutes since I was like, actually, I've read this whole series 5 times.
Do you want to just take my we can swap characters and I can take a break?
No,
I draw
I-
a line of dead bodies.
Hey,
I'm not
we've-
reading this
I
series.
don't think I finished it. I don't think I got very much further than this.
Did you not like it?
That would be convenient.
Did not.
We're in for a ride.
Okay, I will say, hear me out. Hear me out. First of all,
We're 10 minutes in. You're doing a hear me out.
not a good sign.
Nope.
I think it had more to do with writing style than content. So that's not really going to be an issue with a TV show.
Unless the style sucks. Oh, boy.
Okay, I just want to get this out right now
got 4 minutes.
before we get into credits. Does anyone else feel that the show is so insanely millennial coded? It's crazy.
I only had 5 minutes, and they were a pretty millennial 5 minutes.
We were in together, I feel like, for most of your 5 minutes.
Yeah. Ours was very much a glossy imagination of a cool college experience with cool people.
I guess kind of, but also like in that cringe way that like time of like looking back on that era of my life was just like we were just dorks trying to be cool. And I feel like the show, I'm not sure if it's intentionally doing that, but it's like it feels real because it also gives that vibe.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more to it, but there's an underlying not comedy, but like lightness to it that is not. It feels like it's trying to poke fun at a shared weird situation that everyone's kind of in, whether they think they're the cool ones or whether people think they're the outcasts or whether they're the quiet ones and I'm sure that's going to get shattered and that's going to be like a big turning point for the show. But there's this like glossy, everything's kind of fine, kind of like a high school movie from the early 2000s where we're just kind of like walking around, and that's our scene more later, but like pointing at people who are like making quippy reactions. Everyone's kind of like smart and fast.
It could be Mean Girls. Like,
yeah,
it
Mean
feels
Girls.
like the Mean Girls
That's
intro.
more what I was looking for.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. Question, did this come out in 2008?
No,
What year did it come out?
later.
Much later.
Yeah, it
Then
seems more modern than that.
Okay. It feels like 2008 inside of the show, though.
Yeah, because the people who wrote it are probably millennials writing.
Absolutely.
Writing
Like-
people who are probably technically Zoomers. Based
Oh, I
on
don't
when
know
it
what year
came
this
out.
came out, yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, but I get
Give one more
credits.
scene. Oh, credits?
I have
Credits?
credits, yeah.
Credits.
Oh,
We
We don't have a
to
credits gimmick, do we?
Yeah.
we gotta find it.
Match.
Do we just?
It ain't bad.
Yeah.
It ain't bad.
Or just
We're on-
someone the peanut can. That's more of a visual. bit.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
the
we're
one where you
on
like
video
open a can,
now.
like the snake in
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
Have you? I'm only going to bring this up because it's magicians, and I know I've mentioned it before, maybe in the last episode actually. The Amazing Jonathan's Comedy Central special
Fantastic.
with the peanut can, where people expect it to have snakes that like bounce out,
Just
and they
do
just
it.
keep pouring peanuts all over the stage, and he grabs it and like messes with it and gives it back and steps back, and they open it, and more peanuts fall on the stage.
Am I
Incredible.
supposed to know what this is?
He's a comedy magician,
Yeah.
and he brings up audience members, and he's playing on their expectations of it, and they just keep on spilling peanuts all over the stage. It's very funny. The
That's the
credits,
whole bit
but
every
magic
time.
is not bad
Magic.
because we can do fingers. Magic,
It's either that or voila.
voila. I don't
Well,
hate.
See
I
how
like-
you feel next
We're gonna
week.
see. We're gonna
Yeah.
test them
Test
out.
the waters.
We'll come up with something organically.
My first scene is in the exam room.
Oh Jesus!
My first scene is meeting you,
Same.
which I'm assuming
I'm gonna
isn't
take a
actually
hot
that fun.
10.
All right,
and
I'm just
check
gonna
out.
I'm gonna keep going until somebody says that they're in this show.
Hey Brian, we've all been here before. You're
We
doing
have.
great.
I
I know.
This. I hate this. This
I
is
know.
so much responsibility.
It's a lot of
I'm
responsibility.
like staring. We have a little timer. People can't see it, but we have a little timer being like, "Hey, we're trying to keep this to like around an hour because we don't want to go for 3, which I will do if I keep talking." And I'm like staring at the clock, and I'm like, "Oh, I have so many scenes left." And then me talking about this is not helping.
Now you know what it's like to be an Oscar winner.
Anyways,
Adrian
oh
Brody
right, yeah,
bit.
the music's gonna start, huh? Play me
Hey,
off.
turn off the music. I've done this before.
Fucking wild.
Well, I know. What a dick. I'll call it Adrian Brody and Chris Angel. Fuck all of them.
We've got so many enemies.
Anyways, the EMTs are taking away the dead body.
Yeah.
And one of the EMTs is like weirdly joking about this. She was like, "Oh, he must have been a big drinker, glug glug." And I'm like, "What?" And it's just like,
Bedside manner.
yeah, I don't know. She's just like cracking jokes about this guy who they are still like they haven't even covered him with a sheet yet. His face is staring at my face.
Well, they got to check if he has insurance yet.
There's just like, there's that feeling. The show has that. Like
Yeah.
it's like that feeling of like blasé attitude towards like serious topics that
Yeah.
like, but the show is portraying in a way as like you should be uncomfortable. It seems weird. Yeah.
And I really think it's because they're probably going to get very dramatic, and they want the tone shift.
Yeah.
Is my read of it, but
Yeah.
They also want to make this EMT character slightly memorable because she gets referenced again later. Which
okay.
I will,
So
I
maybe
will
we
get back
can
to.
get back to.
But we're like, "Oh, can we go?" Like, I don't, we don't. I'm not. Obviously, this interview isn't happening because the guy is fucking dead. So they're like, "Yeah, you can go." And I kind of like take one last glance at the clock, and she's like, "Oh, before you leave," and then she's like, "Oh, he left this for you," and it's like a manila envelope with my name on it, apparently. So I take it and we leave, and we're outside, and I'm opening it up, and it's book 6 of the Fillory, whatever it's called.
The Fillory trilogy.
Fillory and Further.
Fillory and Further. Thank you. It's from 1952, and the
Great
interesting
year.
thing about book 6 is that there were only 5 books written.
Ooh, this is
Magic.
like every reader's dream.
Honestly.
Your like
yeah.
favorite series, you find like a copy, and you're the only one who's gotten to read it.
And it's right. So I'm the only. I mean, theoretically, I'm the only one, or very few people have read it because it's not even bound. It's just loose pages.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like looking at this and getting kind of really into it and really excited about it. And Julia's there, and she says, you can't run away hard enough, can you? And I'm like, well, you got me into these books. Like, I learned magic tricks to keep up with you. And she's like, well, I know you were at the hospital all weekend. So she knows I was lying about
okay.
Not being at this hospital. And she's basically trying to like, on the way into the interview, she was like, give me the pep talk. On the way out of the not interview, she's kind of giving me a little bit of like tough love. She's like, you're so good at everything. You need to just pick something and do it. And she's like, well, I got to go. She's going to meet James, which is the guy at the party or whatever. I think her boyfriend. And she's like, I love you. Call me. Okay. And I'm like reading the papers and kind of, it cuts to me walking through the streets. It's later nighttime. One of the papers blows away and I start chasing it and it keeps on blowing away and I keep chasing it. It blows into this park and I chase it into the park and it blows into the back of the park and I'm like running through trees and the trees get thicker and then I like about to grab the piece of paper and then burst through these bushes and it's daytime at this big school building. It's Breakbills University, where there's a dude kind of smoking on top of the Breakbills sign.
A fancy boy with curly hair and a
You're a
great
fancy
vest.
boy?
I'm a fancy boy.
I love him so much.
I get a little bit of like Felix vibes.
Absolutely. That was I was thinking about Felix from Orphan Black the whole time.
Yeah,
he really does.
A little bit like Ben Schwartz energy too.
Like he's
chaotic.
like quick, chaotic. He's like very sure of himself. He doesn't like stop to see if you're catching up or keeping up or talking. He's like walking and he's doing his character.
I think I've seen a glimpse of you.
Yeah, I don't remember who you are.
You just
Come
assume
here
that
often?
I either know everything or will catch up. You're like,
I think-
we're late.
Yeah, I think I don't assume either of those things. I think I assume that I have better things to do than welcome the new kid.
Sure.
And it feels like I have been at this school and I'm like maybe kind of respected, but I have been given this like power, quote unquote, of welcoming new students. And I care more. I get the sense that I'm a vain person who cares more about their presentation. Because when you come up, I'm not just like sitting there smoking a cigarette. I'm lounging like I'm posing for a magazine cover. I'm like full on, like leg up, like arm on head, like Dionysian. I don't know the plural, or the whatever. But I'm like posed up where looking like a Greek god and like smoking a cigarette and like blowing it into the air, like carefree. Like there should be like a little Tweety bird come down and like perch on the edge of my finger, and then I like blow it a kiss and it flies away. Like I am too much for myself, and I think that's presentational because you come up feeling. Probably like everybody, if this is how how our school recruits people, where we just like push you into the woods and then you show up on the lawn, probably everyone's kind of confused. And I'm this first like woodland nymph that they meet, and I just want to be like the fuckable cool kid and the first person that they meet is kind of the vibe that I get from my character.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I start talking to you. I'm like lounging the thing, and I messy tuft of hair, and
I ask where we are.
And I'm like, you're Quentin Coldwater. I like have a little card that has your name on it. I was like, you're late, follow me, and you have questions, and I'm like, you're like, are we in upstate New York? Or I say we're in upstate.
You say we're in upstate New York.
Okay, that's one thing I couldn't quite place with my notes.
Which I don't know if is true or not.
Me neither. Because you were in New York originally.
Yeah, I was in New York City.
You were in New York City.
So went through a bush, and now I'm in upstate
in
New
like
York.
Central Park or whatever, and now you're in upstate New York or wherever we are. But I'm saying where you are is the Breakbills University, but why you're here is because you have been offered a preliminary exam for entrance into the graduate school of Breakbills University. We haven't said what kind of school it is, or you don't seem like you've ever heard of it, but
Yep.
You seem utterly confused, and I seem like I've done it 100 times, and I walk you into a room that seems to be full of other people, and I
There's
leave.
like 100 people in this room.
Yeah, and I dip out.
And as I walk in, this guy yells at me that I'm late, and we find out later he's the dean. And he's like, questions will be answered in time, but the tests are on the desk, and so we start taking the tests.
And you sit down next to me.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
That's me.
So you're my roommate as well later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was your name again?
Penny.
Penny?
Penny.
Most forgettable person in the show.
Penny.
Okay.
He's a.
No, he's not. I just didn't.
He's tan.
He doesn't look like a penny.
I it's hard to clock what
ethnicity
is.
Yeah.
He
does look like the aloof, cool kid kind of outsider
I'm
vibes.
the cool kid.
Yeah.
Like he's very
really?
much y'all are beneath.
Like you're wearing
me.
like a sleeveless vest or something like that. And you have tattoos.
The likelihood that
Wait,
he
no,
has
stop
a sleeveless
describing
leather
Michael
vest.
and start describing the character.
Yes. We do share an affinity for vests. But you're tripping at the test next to you.
Well, because I'm
I'm
starting to look at this test, and the test is morphing as I look at it. Right, like at once I open the test, and there's like calculus on there, and I'm like, okay, I don't know any of this. I'm not saying this, but and then it shifts to like a sign language test, and then it shifts again. It's like, how many windows are in New York City? And it's like all the questions are kind of like changing around, and I'm like not really sure how to handle that.
Just answer C for all of them.
Yeah.
No, because
for
they're like,
cool.
but they're all like big, there's like tiny question at the top and then big blank space to write your answer and show your
And
work
giant
type of
graph
test.
question.
Boo. The worst
Are
kind
you
of
doing well?
standardized test.
I don't seem concerned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. It feels like everybody in here,
Knows what
we-
to sign
we-
up for.
that's not necessarily true, but at this moment, I think that I'm the only one who is like confused.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, we finished taking the test. We turn it in, and the dean hands me something, and he's like, there's another like level of the test or whatever, like, oh, you'll be assigned a room or whatever it is. And Jules is here, Julia, and she was saying that she went into an elevator and came out here.
Oh, so your
Oh,
friend
your roommate's
Julia
here.
also is in
Yes.
magician school,
Yes.
presumably.
Okay.
Huh.
But then my next scene is I'm in basically another room where it's just me and, kind of a panel of the dean and 4 other teachers, presumably teachers. And they're like, let's see some magic. And I'm like, okay. And they have a deck of cards. I grab the deck of cards and I just like do a little card trick or whatever. And they're like, no, magic, real magic, please. And I'm like, and I fumble and I drop all the cards on the ground. And the dean kind of gets up and he's like talking about, this pointless miasmic march to death that I call life. And he's like grilling me about like living this pointless life. He's like, quit dicking around. And I'm like, oh, like, don't like yell at me. And like, and he's like, stop, like keeps on yelling at me. And I yell, stop it. And as I yell, stop it, the cards fly in the air. It seemed like a standard deck of cards, but now all of a sudden there's like 1,000 cards in the air.
Oh, magic.
Flying around. Yeah. Doing like, this very, it's the scene that always happens in these type of things. Where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you didn't think you could do magic, and all of a sudden you're doing crazy magic, and the cards are swirling around, and I like literally yell out, "I'm doing this" or whatever. I say, "Holy shit, I'm doing this!" And kind of move the cards around, and then the cards go on to the table where they're all sitting, and it builds this like fantastic house of cards with these like moving elements to it. It's very pretty. And then I just pass out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you
burned
you
through
did
it.
something. You did something pretty cool right away, though.
Yeah.
And hey, they're not a. I mean, hey, think about it. If that would have gone the opposite, where you do this big, cool, showy thing, and then it just stands there, and you're like, ta-da! Like passing out is a pretty rad thing. We're like, whoa, this guy cares a lot.
He magics so
He
hard.
magics so hard he fucking passed out. Well, get this kid in class now.
And a
Assuming you
helmet.
want. And then
'Cause
help
he
him.
passes out a
Yeah,
lot.
get the EMT. The EMT? Same EMT later? You mentioned
no,
name drop.
next
Okay.
scene, not the next scene, the scene after. I'll talk about the EMT a little bit more.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming I just keep going. Does anybody have scenes without me?
My next scene, you come into my dorm room.
Okay.
And I say my dorm room.
Do you have any scenes without me, Colin?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm leading
Okay.
you around because
Well,
I'm in the dorm
I'm just
room.
gonna go in order, and then when you're there, you're there.
Yep.
Next scene, I'm outside, and there's that tree with the clock in it from the storybook. And I'm like about to go and touch the clock, and the girl from the book, Jane Chatwin, is there, and she's like, "I wouldn't."
Oh, she's in the real world.
She's.
She's.
Let's
she
not
says
get too
it.
hasty.
Okay, fair enough.
And she's like, "It won't stop him from coming." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, the beast. He's gonna find you. You're the one he wants. You have to learn." And she's like, "You're on the garden path," and like points down. I'm like on this stone path, I guess. And she's like, "Stay. Like if you stay on the path, the beast will kill you. Step off the path, or..." And then the wind starts blowing, and these bugs start, these like fantastical bugs start flying at me. And I wake up in my dorm room, and the deck of cards that I had with the at the dean's office or whatever is on the table there. But my next scene is I go to the dean's office, and he's kind of giving me the little bit of the spiel. This is just an info dump. I mean, the whole episode so far is kind of an info dump.
Yeah,
so
it's episode 1.
It's overwhelming
yeah,
for me.
well,
I'm sorry, it's
establish the
overwhelming
world.
for the audience and everybody here. But here's what we learned: that it's a 3-year program,
Okay.
3 seasons? Question mark. Maybe the last one split in 2, Harry
3
Potter
seasons
style.
in a movie.
And And I'm like asking like how he found me or whatever, and there's like 1,000 like globes in this office, like all over the place. And he's like, "Oh, the globes are sense magic." And I asked about Julia, and he says she didn't make the cut.
Aww.
And that's where I learned that the dead guy is he worked for them, so he like that was I guess an
A recruiter.
Yeah. And he was just a diabetic and
There
died.
wasn't a magical thing. There was no like
he
Voldemort
literally
came and
just
stabbed
died.
him in the throat. No, just died.
natural.
Well, I mean, maybe he was killed or whatever, but like, you know, the information I get here is that just he died of kind of, you know,
Natural causes.
yeah.
Yeah. We always forget in these magical shows that people could just die.
Usually. That's
As
the
we
thing.
get further into this, I am less convinced. I didn't think twice about it until I'm saying this now. He might not have died of natural causes. He might have been murdered.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a good way to, I feel like you can do like in Buffy, you can do they died of natural causes and it just kind of fucking sucks and it's not actually related to
It
the
could
greater
be, for sure.
machinations. But you probably do that after you've earned some other stuff.
Yeah.
Like doing that as your first body
This
count.
feels like a cover-up.
it
it
feels
also-
like a cover up.
I don't know, it
I
could be a
kind of
red
like it
herring.
because it does give this like frantic energy to like finding the school, being late
True.
for the exam, like not getting the full kind of like you're a wizard Harry type of thing. But knowing what I know now, where I am apparently kind of a special character in this universe, or there's something going on with me that I obviously don't know what it is yet. I'm
You
like,
made a
did
TV
somebody
show.
murder him to stop me from coming to this school? That's a little unclear. But we do learn that the paramedic was freelance and working for the dean. So that's kind of how
she gave you the.
I got the book to, yeah. So I was led here not by the original intended kind of,
I smell cover-up.
yeah.
They wanted you bad though.
And, you know, the school kind of exists to reveal your innate abilities and hone them. And I'm asking, like, oh, like, you know, what do we, like, what's the deal with, like, when we graduate? Do we have to work for you, whatever? And he's like, no, what you do with the abilities is up to you. He's like, if you want to take over the world, go for it. You know,
We'll probably stop you.
yeah, maybe.
With like
I don't
magic
know.
guns, like
And I
magic
kind of
missile.
sign a piece of paper or whatever it is. I don't look at the piece. I feel like when magic's
What
involved,
Mistake one.
I know, really.
especially
Cast
with
a spell.
magical contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You buy a new Roku, don't read the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
You're signing a magical contract at a school that appeared out of the woods.
That's test one.
It started with a murder.
It feels like an escalation of don't read Latin in front of the books.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
sign magical contracts
For-
that you haven't
yeah.
read through with
For
your
new
magical
listeners,
lawyer.
New watchers, don't read Latin in front of books.
Don't read Latin in front of
Don't
books.
sign magical contracts without magical lawyers. That's
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Like,
And a magical lawyer, not like a really good one.
yeah, a very good magical lawyers.
At least peruse it and go like, even if you're not like clocking it, just so they might think twice about trying to sneak something in there.
Just point to a line like you know what it means.
Say and then take a sip of Chianti. And they're like, wow, this guy knows law.
Good call.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
babe.
But I think the school is still hidden, like, from the normal world. Obviously, I didn't know about it. I didn't know magic was real. And so he says that they use, like, illusions to, like, answer questions from my friends and family. So, like, I'm going to school upstate or whatever it is, but they'll kind of use the illusion magic to smooth over the rough edges of, like, it's a magical school that doesn't exist. Right?
Sure. Yeah, classic magic stuff.
Magic, gaslighting.
They
all
keep
the
it
same thing.
just vague enough so that plot holes are baked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one last thing here that I have
Not a
very
good start.
mixed feelings about. And
Uh-oh.
I'm just going to tell you what happens in this scene, and everybody can draw their own conclusion. We can discuss it, whatever. But the short version of it is he wants me to get off my medication. So when I was in the mental health facility, I was prescribed some, I think, just depression medication. And he's like, you're not depressed. You're alone. You're not crazy. You're angry. And he's like, wants me to like hand over the bottle of pills to him, which I do.
I don't
Not
love
good.
it.
Not good.
So usually, you're not supposed to get off those medications cold turkey like
No,
that.
very
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah. And I get that you're a magic person, but also a little dangerous. And I think maybe if it was more like specifically, like, you can bake that into the universe. I'm like, oh, those pills are suppressing your innate magical ability.
That's what I'm gonna say. I wonder if there's some like,
not like I'm a doctor, you're not depressed, you're mad.
it's
like that's
like
not,
it's filtering his abilities.
yeah, and like, oh, we have our own medical team, and like, you go talk to them, and they'll make sure you get like healthy and safe. But like, I don't know, it's your brand new kid.
Like, you can magic explain this. You can be like,
Yeah.
like the sadness you feel is a byproduct of suppressed magical abilities.
Right, you need a magical
but they don't
release,
do that.
actually.
They're like, they literally do the like, you're not depressed, you need to just go outside and touch grass.
yeah,
not great.
Don't love it.
Not great. As somebody who's had a doctor be like, why are you depressed?
Oh, just go for a run.
But I was like,
I subscribe 30 doses of cc's of running.
okay.
Being numb.
I'll
Sad.
run for 30 cubic centimeters. Yeah.
I will say it does suck because exercise does make you feel better, at least for me. But it's like I'm like bitter about it every time it happens. Like it's like I sleep right and I exercise and then I like I feel better and I'm like, this sucks. Actually,
Do you know how you deal
I
with
hate
that?
feeling good.
Do you deal with that? Deny. I feel worse. I'm miserable.
But I do
Happiness.
not mean to imply that that is solving the core issue here and that it's fine. It's not. I
No,
think
it's more
that
fun,
that's
though.
not ideal.
Especially after 0 hours of being a student at this school.
Yeah, you don't even like. I feel like the guy could be just trying to steal your meds. Like you don't know anything about this
That's not the
person.
vibe he gives off.
That's his side gig. He's
I'm
selling
just
meds.
saying. I understand
He
that.
does this to every student.
Got a cabinet full of
And he knows like what meds everybody's on because he's fucking magic.
And he's like, college kids, all of them are sad.
You
I
like
got
you give him
un-
over the meds. You go out and like there's a secretary working at the front desk and he looks up and he's like, "Did he take your meds?" And you're like, "What? Yeah." How do you know? And be like, tell me what they were. I'll get more. He does this to fucking everybody. Guys, honestly,
There's somebody who's like has a broken leg. He's like, no, I know you have the Percocet. Hand him over.
I
You
just
don't need that
say
cast. Give me the cast.
all I'm saying is we don't know anything about this man.
PSA, don't give your meds to random people.
Please do not do this.
I see you broke your leg. You on any meds? Nice. You ever crush those up and sniff them?
Can I borrow your
You want a
crutch?
party?
You don't need that crutch. Can I just take that crutch?
You want a party?
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't like him. Bat. He's a villain.
I just don't.
Well, we'll see what happens to him.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
This could have just been a thing they wrote, and then sometimes
Wait,
you
is this
write
the dean?
things.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to know what year this show came out, please.
I think
Every day, I'm further questioning.
I'm just gonna say we will see what happens to him.
Oh.
winky wink.
Winky
All right,
winky.
I'll tell you when the show came out. It was
Please.
2015.
Okay.
That's a little late for this behavior. That's all I'm gonna
That's
say.
the new review metric. If the product is too old or new for that type of behavior.
So when
Hey,
do you get
bud.
over to your dorm room? Let's keep running.
I'm in the dorm room now.
Oh, nice. You're
I
in the dorm
have
room.
a scene with my roommate.
Okay. I come
me.
in with Staj's character.
Oh,
here in just a
you're coming
minute.
in a second, I believe.
Yep.
Because
Cool.
my book is missing. The chapter 6 or volume 6 or whatever. And I accuse you.
Without accusing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you think I stole it? Some kid's book? You think I want that fucking I call it nerd boy dragon porn? Like, you think I want all that?
Yeah.
Um,
It's interesting that like you seem to understand this world better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's obviously some sort of familiarity with real magic coming from your end.
Yep.
And you are very dismissive of this book that seems to have some real tie-in to this world. So that'll be a thing to keep an eye on at least.
Yeah. But that's when Margo comes in.
Oh yes, with Eliot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Elliot comes in and
We're all here.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Oh my God. Is
Okay.
how they wrote it.
I
in the
knew
script.
there was a guy in there, but I just
I
I
didn't
saw
clock
you.
you.
I just didn't.
Yeah.
Know
Don't you
who
leave
that
a
was.
Non-American boy.
Because the whole thing
You
is
might
I
be
come
American.
in and it's like, this is the guy, and I'm like, he's not that cute. And then I pull your tie and I
Yeah.
leave.
Margo's like the flirty woman in red. Is like your
Yes.
intro
Yes.
character, at least. I'm sure
Yes.
there's more to your character than that, but you kind of you're introduced a
It'd be
little
hilarious
bit.
if there wasn't.
Yeah, it
like
just-
Saj is one of the 4 people on this podcast, and James is like, nope, we're giving you the nobody character.
Well, okay.
Take a break.
We are going to keep drawing comparisons to Buffy because we did Buffy, but it is giving me like early Cordelia.
Yeah.
100%.
So I don't have like a huge problem with that.
Which is kind of that.
I'm
like,
here for that.
The millennial vibes we're talking about. It has some of
Yes.
that Buffy style writing and quippiness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, a decade and a half later than Buffy.
Yeah.
Right, which is
I can see the comparisons.
It's like it is because is Sarah Michelle Gellar, are they Gen X?
Yes.
I think so.
I've never understood. I know I smile whenever we throw around Gen Z, Millennial, Zoomer, Boomer. I don't actually know what those
You actually
mean.
don't know what they
I
mean?
mean, I vaguely get it, but whenever people start saying the difference between like micro generations within like 5 to 10 year spans, I stop understanding
like
what
Gen
that
X is
means.
not a
Gen X,
micro
like-
gen. My
Gen X
parents
is,
are
like,
Gen
late-
X.
like
so
late 40s.
When did that
50s?
start? Stop. I don't know. I don't.
40s, 50s, Gen
40s,
X?
50s?
I think the youngest
No,
Gen
they're
X is
older
like
than that.
46 or something.
No, they're older than that now. I think
The
the youngest millennial is like 40
How do we,
something.
how do
What?
we
The
know?
youngest
Like, what-
millennial is not
there a
40 something
date?
because I'm a millennial and I'm younger than 40 something.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant the oldest.
The
Sorry,
youngest
the
Gen
youngest.
X is like 46 right now, I think.
Maybe a little older than that, but yeah. So like my parents are like they're like 60, they're Gen X or not even.
You know, the Nirvana crowd.
Honestly, yes, the Nirvana crowd. Like when you were a teenager and like you were into that kind of vibe, that's very Gen X.
If you were wearing Nirvana shirts in high school, Gen X.
That's not true.
But
'cause
I'm a
that
millennial
blended.
now.
When they came
I
out.
was a Gen Xer
yeah.
in high school,
like-
but now I'm a millennial.
You all are making me feel older than I think I actually am.
So like my friend who wore like a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, does that make him a boomer?
No. But I'm just saying that like if you were like a teen like during
Yeah,
the
like
Nirvana
like
that
fresh
area,
shirts just came out.
like you
Sure.
would you're
Not
Gen
vintage.
X. Like
Not the
that's
reprint.
older than us.
Not a reprint.
That's like no millennial
fresh off the press.
was like there for
alive.
Nirvana. Like they were not the bars with
Y'all
Nirvana.
were wearing fresh off the presses Pitbull shirts.
Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will rep Pitbull,
Exterminate.
I think as long as he's not
Dolly?
canceled.
Nothing's Dalek.
What? Oh, damn it.
Dalek.
Dalek.
Yes, the king of the Daleks, Pitbull. He is Mr. Universe-wide.
I like this
Multiverse-wide.
new.
Oh my God, where were we? Oh, I walked out of the
In
room.
the dorm room.
That was the end
Yeah.
of my scene.
Yeah, and we're starting to get a little bit of a tour through the quad.
Yes, we are talking about. Okay, so the first years.
This is the finger tutting.
Yes.
Yeah, you see the kids over there magically and just like.
What are
they're like-
you saying?
You know what? When
You know
when people
what
are like,
tutting is.
I
and people are
do
doing
not.
like
You don't
hand-
watch
You're
enough
talking
so you
about
think you
the
dance.
Naruto hands.
Yeah,
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
basically. It's
Y'all gotta watch more dance things.
yeah, more like
Dance
EDM.
thing?
Yeah, so you think you could dance, tutting, like America's Best
yeah.
Dance Crew, all of like any show with competitive
How many
dancing,
dance
especially
shows
hip-hop.
can you name?
I don't know
So far we've had
anything
3.
about
Next.
dance shows. I just know about the Sharingan. what can I
what's the one with
contribute to this
celebrities?
conversation?
Yeah, don't look at me. I only know what finger tutting is
You're
because I think
supposed
it's
to
funny.
be naming the shows.
Yeah,
You got America's Best Dance Crew.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You got So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah, those you already named.
You have what's the one with the
It's
celebrities?
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with
Wow.
the Stars.
He
That's
can't
not
do
the
this as
same
well.
kind of dancing.
I hope they finger tut on Dancing with the Stars. Like Pierce Brosnan gets on like boom boom ba ooh
Good
tutting.
tutting.
Good tutting. Pierce Brosnan's hitting his thing.
Is
and
it just dance? Is it dance? Is it the
It's like EDM. You like wear white gloves.
Is it the tech deck of dancing?
oh my God.
Kind of a little bit. I would say it's
I
like
never
the,
thought you could make tutting uncool. And
Really?
it's become the
I'm
lamest.
sorry, you didn't think I could make tutting uncool
Yeah.
a thing I just learned about, and it sounds like the lamest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Spoken like a real non-tutter.
Correct.
this is the most Gen X opinion. Wait a minute, millennial opinion.
Like these people wish they had a yo-yo in their hands.
Oh man, but they don't need a yo-yo because they have magic.
We're gonna lose.
They're
the
like tutting magic
yeah,
into the world.
we're gonna lose the entire dance.
Tutting with magic is cooler than just tutting. I hate that I'm saying tutting so many times. I hate that I learned this word today.
Go look it up. It's great. It's
Yeah.
an EDM thing. It's basically like electronic music.
But it's also
People
like a lot of hip hop crews.
Yeah,
work
it's
in
fair.
tutting.
That's fair. I know it more from the wear
was-
white gloves and listen to like dubstep and like take ecstasy and go like,
Is
whoa.
this
and
what
that's
is
not
this
my
what
vibe.
is this what Ray Gun was doing in the Olympics?
You need to shut your mouth. I will not sit here and watch the
Ray Gun
art
be
of
shamed.
tutting be
Oh.
besmirched. She is not the king of tutting.
Okay.
Okay.
So things that we learn in the scene as we walk around and we
Tutting.
do the Mean Girls.
I was
This
just
group,
gonna say,
that group, this group.
here's
that
all the
girl.
clicks.
Yes.
Yeah. Telekinesis, people, the illusions, the healing, the nature, the knowledge.
What's their subclass?
The psychics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The
And then
psychics.
under your breath, Elliot, I think you're like
Yeah.
the loser.
losers? I like whisper in your
and they
ear.
hear us and they psychically talk to us. I mean,
Yeah.
like they call
They're
Elliot-
twins,
a
and they're like,
douchebag.
eat shit, Elliot.
Yeah.
Shit, Elliot. Their
Which is-
mouths don't move, and it's like echoey in my head.
Okay. Listen, team. We are in a magic school with people who have born powers in upstate New York. Okay?
Pull up.
We're going to have a lot
up.
of X-Men references. I didn't do this.
Are these the cuckoos?
Kind of.
They kind of. There could be more. I just think it's very funny that they know that there's an X-Men comparison. Because in the X-Men universe, the psychics are the coolest ones. This is just a fact. Jean Grey is the
she's
coolest.
correct.
This is factual statements. Emma Frost, cool, right?
That's why there's so many of them.
There's a lot. I feel this was intentional.
Well, that they're twins?
No, that they're losers.
Oh,
like
okay.
that they are
It's
like
the counter
we're not going to
programming.
make psychics cool this time.
Yeah. I think it's also something where, like, the difference between you're a superhero fighting supervillains versus I imagine if
school.
you're a psychic and you could read people's mind at college, everyone's going to want you to stay the fuck away from them.
That's
I would
true.
never want, I don't want it now. But especially when I was fucking like 22, you think I want somebody in my brain?
You a
I didn't
freak.
even want to be in my brain. I hated it there. I don't want them to
I
know
feel
what
like
I'm
logging
thinking.
into the mind of a 17-year-old boy
I was the worst.
would be the most. Oh, pull up, out.
Yeah, can't imagine.
I don't
Like,
really know.
also-
A lot of what goes in here comes right out here. So I don't know.
I feel like also
we have different
from-
types of anxieties.
Yeah.
What can you say?
from the perspective of just making an entertaining television show, you don't want the psychics to be cool because that means everybody wants to see more of them, and the more psychics you have, the more you're going to write yourself into a corner.
Fair enough. Same thing with magic in general. So I'm really curious to see how good they're going to be
Yeah,
about
I feel
it.
like there's like other problems
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
with
Harry
this.
Potter gets away with it for the
Yeah,
most part.
they got away with some stuff until they stopped getting away with it.
What is the knowledge group? What does that
I don't
mean?
know. We'll have to figure out.
nerds.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's my class.
That's my
Well,
the more important thing that we get here is there are two shells of like two husks, basically, like just there's like this fun flirty atmosphere. Everyone's kind of like
Mean
jibbing
Girls,
and jabbing
Mean
and mean
Girls,
girls.
Yeah,
and
everybody's
Mean
doing
Girls.
little magic tricks and making things hover and levitate, and
And then there's two people that are just walking side by side and they look disassociated.
yeah, it's because the
entirely.
dean took away their depression medication.
Oh no.
that was the third year class.
Well, what's left of them?
Yep, it went down from 20 people to 4,
Yikes.
and nobody knows why.
Yeah.
This is
Death?
also where Eliot says, "Hey, by the way, did you read this magic contract
Yeah.
that you signed? Because in that it tells you that like magic won't not kill you, and that if it does, too
Oh, well.
bad."
Yeah. Anyway, let's go find something magical to smoke.
Before you say that, though,
Vibe.
Yeah.
that is a great line. But I do want to point out the line that didn't mean anything to you because you didn't get the scene. But you're like, so stay on the garden path,
No,
kid.
I say that.
You say. So you
Yeah.
tell me to stay on the garden path.
and you won't have to worry about.
I was wondering what.
But
getting, yeah.
the dream sequence I just had was like, if you stay on the garden path, you're going to die.
Okay.
So
that's why you actually
I'm
worried
basically
about it.
being pushed and pulled from like, stay and do all the school things or whatever, or kind of like break the mold and do my own thing, I think.
metaphors.
I feel like, no offense to my character, love her, love the energy, but I wouldn't be taking like, I don't know, life advice from her. Do you know
Not
what
yet,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
There's certain aspects of life. Maybe you get her advice.
Yeah,
Maybe
but, like-
holistically, like life coach
yeah,
isn't
I'm
exactly
not,
her.
yeah,
MO
like
yet.
if I, yeah. So I think it's okay to disregard.
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
fair.
saying.
But it's definitely setting up some tension for later. in the
Yeah,
season.
absolutely.
But and Quentin is still the fish out of water and is being led by the people who quote know more. So I can see how
Yes.
that holds more weight now than maybe whenever you get to know Margo a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, my next scene is staying next to a small water feature with Quentin and Margo.
Yeah,
I'm not
same.
sure if we all just cut right
My
away.
next scene's in class.
Okay, we'll catch you later.
I'm in class. Are you in this scene, Penny? No, there's a little marble on the table.
yes, I am.
And the teacher calls on this girl named Alice. So Alice is kind of a blonde lady with very like
Oh, I know
proper looking,
kind of like innocent, kind of like doughy-eyed, like
Quiet.
means quiet.
Yeah, like kind of like folded in on herself
Yeah.
a little bit.
We see her in
We
the
see
next
her
scene.
later. Yeah,
there's
I
a
know
little
you're
bit of
talking
like a Hermione Granger attitude
Oh,
to her.
yeah.
She's like the very like overachiever kid.
about. Yeah.
So she gets called up. I guess this is the first day of class. I still don't understand this. So you, Penny, were taking the test. The other two of you were not taking the test, but are you first years or are you second year
I
students?
think we're either. We don't get an answer to whether we're
No,
first
I
or
have
second
no
year.
idea.
We know. I am not worried. I'm in the school. like Eliot's
Right.
in.
Yeah,
I don't.
you weren't
think,
taking the test.
I'm not taking the test today.
Yeah.
I'm leading people through. I get the sense I'm probably a second year.
Okay.
Or at least like second semester
Yeah.
or something like that.
Or just got in early.
Or I got in way
somehow.
earlier. Yeah. But I seem to know like
What's going on?
yeah.
I don't
and,
even
like,
know what
all
my
the
powers are.
clips
So
and stuff.
like,
Magic.
magic.
sure.
Anyways, Alice gets to the front of the classroom. There's a little glass marble, and she kind of does magic. Tutting? What are we saying?
Yeah, tutting.
She starts tutting over it,
Get it.
and the marble like melts, and then she starts.
Well, before she even does that, Margo tries to talk some trash about her, and I'm like, quiet. An artist is at work. So Penny is being very respectful to Alice.
That's not Margo.
That's not Margo.
Thank
No,
you. I was like
that's-
looking
okay.
at you. I was like,
I was-
I didn't
Maybe
get
got thrown
that.
off.
That's a new. No, it's just a different girl.
Different girl. Okay.
there's a lot of characters.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
yeah.
So there's a girl who is like talking trash about her,
Sure.
like choking, and I'm like, quiet, an artist is at work. So
interesting- so you
Penny
know-
becomes very appreciative of magic as an art form.
and you must know a little bit about Alice.
Yeah.
But anyway, the marble melts. She starts reforming it into like a tiny little horse. And then the horse starts like running around on the table.
Yeah.
And she just grabs it and sits back down.
Sounds sick. My toddler would go fucking crazy for that. I'm kidding.
And then that's that whole scene.
Nameless girl now, the one who was talking trash about Alice, looks at me, and I just go, the answer is yes, till you pass out, and then once when you wake up. And she's like, are you reading my mind? I'm like, no, just a guess.
What do you, I don't get it.
Fuckboy energy, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello.
I'm gonna come back to the door with a magical sock on the door.
Well, funny you say that. I'll just jump into the next quick scene.
I thought I was the fuck boy.
Definitely not.
I'm not the fuck boy.
It cuts to us making out in the dorm room.
You and the gal
Yeah.
talking shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she is on top of me as we just start floating off of the bed. As other things in the room start floating off
Okay.
of the bed.
Yeah.
And then I have like a couple quick back and forth scenes with her before we get to meeting up with some people later. But that's that scene. So, we're going to make psychics not cool? No, we're going to make psychics cool.
Telekinesis is a different group than psychics.
Well, we'll get into it.
Telekinesis.
Okay.
And telekinesis has already been stated by Eliot that they are the cool ones. Come to their parties. Everything floats.
Okay. So I'm a telekinesis.
You are telekinesis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess I do know that.
Because you say that.
Elliot is telekinesis.
Yeah.
So-
You said don't come to our place if you have somewhere to be in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We party hard in the telekinesis room.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the quad, and I think I'm with you two, talking about Alice Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yes.
she's an overachiever, and she comes from a family of magicians.
Yeah, I'm looking at her and I'm like, there's one of those every year, and because she comes from a family of magicians, I'm like, the world is inherently unfair. I think I'm just trying to the point that like she's really good at magic, but she also like kind of got a heads up from her family.
Yeah.
So we are all behind. Presumably that means that we are not from families of magicians, me or Eliot either.
Yeah, I guess I don't get the vibe. Yeah,
Yeah.
Elliot doesn't say much in this scene, but
Yeah.
you get the sense he's in agreement with Margo.
I invite her to hang out with us, but she ignores me. Rude as hell.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very honest invitation, though.
I get the impression she might have overheard you a little bit talking trash about her.
Was it trash? Is it my fault that she's a nepo baby?
No, but if I'm sure, but if I'm sitting
How to
there,
get born.
if I'm sitting there and be like, "Oh, this nepo baby, hey, come and hang out with us," I'd be like, "Fuck no."
No, absolutely not.
And I have a quick scene in the cafeteria where Alice is studying, and I apologize for you two, and I'm like, well, I need this place. I never had friends or parents who, and she cuts me off, and she basically says that her parents were crazy and they never taught her a drop of magic.
Okay.
And then I go outside and I get an email, and apparently, like, I make a phone call or whatever, and it's Julia's boyfriend. I don't remember his name.
James.
James, thank you.
How did you
Thank you,
remember
James.
It's got to make
and
sure they're
he's saying
represented
that-
properly.
He's saying that Julia isn't acting herself, but it's her birthday party, and I think I've run into you two, and you.
Yeah,
you know-
we overhear something about party on the phone, and we're like, we're going. Is it black tie?
right. No, it's at a bar. So we're next. Cuts immediately to us at this bar, and I hug Julia, and
Well, we walk into this bar and we see your friends and we
Immediately
think that they're losers and immediately turn around and go somewhere else in
I
the bar.
was wondering what the vibes.
Yeah.
I didn't quite clock.
Because the guy has like those little glasses that have like
The
pop out
googly eyes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so we just we saw that and we're like, no,
Nope.
we're
So
not hanging
this-
out with those losers.
So this is your pre-magic roommate's birthday party.
Yes.
We're like going off campus basically
Yes.
to hang out. Okay, so we are allowed away from the school.
Yeah, I think we're back in the city. As
Okay.
far as I can
Yeah,
tell.
we say that if we have to come with you because you won't be able to find your way back. We do say
Got
that.
it. Okay. Yeah.
And Julia, like after I hug Julia, she walks outside, kind of storms off. She's clearly like something's up with her, right? She goes outside. I meet her outside, and she's like, "I need you to tell the school that they were wrong about me." So the implication in this scene is that after she did not get in, the illusion or magic or whatever they talked about earlier, they used to erase her memory of ever
It
taking the
didn't work?
test. And she wants to get tested again, and she like lifts up her sleeve, and it's hard to see, but she has like some scars on her arm, and she's like, "Oh, I remember it or whatever." And she's like, "Look, I can do magic," and she's like starts tutting, and and little sparkles come out of her fingers, and I'm basically being like, "Hey, you can do everything else. It's okay if you can't do this. Like, this world isn't for you."
Whoa.
Wow, right away,
Whoa,
dude.
pull up.
You don't even know.
You don't even go here.
And I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot of people who like do
Fucking
magic
seer
spells.
over here.
There's a lot of people who do magic spells not knowing exactly what they're doing. Like, it doesn't mean that you have potential that you can make some sparks appear, whatever.
Does the scars that she has, do they look self-inflicted, or does it look like somebody did something to remove magic or memories?
It's hard to say.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what was going on with that. Like, maybe if I took a closer glance and zoomed and enhanced, I could tell you something, but
Okay.
I didn't do that because I was just watching it like my character watched it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, it's really okay if this isn't your thing. And then my next scene is back on campus.
Oh yeah, because we leave the bar. We have
Yeah.
the scene where you leave the bar.
Yeah.
That's the end of my scene. That's my episode.
My
Wow.
episode is also done.
I'm gonna just
Yeah, go for it.
I'm
Give
gonna
me a
work
break.
in. I have one. It's a sentence scene where me and Holly, James. Do we know her name?
I suppose you would know her name, but it's Katie.
Okay.
I don't
Would
know.
you?
Is he that real fuckboy that he wouldn't?
Because
I'll
it's-
give it to him so we're not just saying that girl a bunch.
That's
so
fair.
me
Katie.
and Katie are walking on campus, and it's a very quick scene, just kind of establishing like that they're still like
Hanging out.
hanging out, and she's walking, and he just like slaps her butt, like
Okay.
playfully slaps her butt, and that's the whole scene. It's just, hey, it's not just the
so
one
they're
time making out.
reiterating this.
Like they are now spending
Hooking
more
up.
time with each other.
Do you get the sense that Katie and Penny?
Penny,
Do you get the sense that Katie and Penny knew each other before that class?
no,
Okay.
I think he really just like called a shot,
Yeah.
and had the swag to pull it off.
Okay.
He does have
I
some
saw
swag.
I saw
Yeah.
that guy for like 3 seconds. I was like, he's hot.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
obviously.
Like outside of the coolness and the hotness, I do like Penny. He's a very interesting character, and I already have questions
About your sexuality?
I could see it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, would.
yeah. And how much do you want me to give you a break? Because I have
Give him
one
a
more
big
scene
break.
that leads into a scene that I have with you.
Sure. Go for a little more.
So we cut back to the dorm, and I'm sitting in bed, and I'm reacting to things as if I'm hearing something. Kind of like shaking your head, trying to like maybe not hear. And I get up and I start pacing around, and Katie is in bed, kind of like, what's going on? Everything okay? And I'm like, I need to go. And she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I can hear a voice. And she's like, you're a psychic? I'm like, I'm not a psychic. And it's very much like, I hate that word.
Because everybody thinks psychics are losers, and you have a very good innate psychic ability, and you're fighting it.
Well, I'm wondering if it's that, or if it's a simplification of what he has. Like, psychic is a cheap word for the type of skill he has.
Sure.
And she's like trying to play off like I'm not impressed, and I'm like, I need to go somewhere. And she wants to come with me.
Yep. I will tell you where that is in a second because I'm in the library and it's pretty late at night and I'm kind of just studying, trying to. It's hard to tell exactly how many like days have passed, but I feel like we've had multiple days of classes at this point because I'm like not asking questions. I'm studying a textbook. But this random like kind of door in the library starts knocking, like, knock, knock, knock on this door. And I get up to kind of see what's going on, open the door, and there's a forest in there. And nobody's at the door and it's daytime. And the lady from inside the book is there again, who I keep on seeing in my dreams, I guess. So this is pretty clearly another dream sequence. And she's like, the path is going to kill you. Do you understand? And I'm like, no, I don't understand. And she cuts me off and says, stop talking, you child. It's like, listen, you asked me a question. I'm sorry I answered it. But she's like, that place isn't the point. You won't be there long. Break bills is a tool. And then there's like it looks like a big kind of gravestone or some sort of like concrete slab with writing on it. But part of it starts glowing with this symbol. And I'm like kind of looking at it and moving closer to it. And she grabs my hand and reaches, like puts my hand on the symbol. And I wake up in the library. And the symbol is burned into my hand, Indiana Jones style.
Does it look like it's got some big magic energy? It's not like just a circle, but it's like glyphs and runes and all that kind of crap.
And the little rune in the middle is like, it kind of looks like the Bill logo from Gravity Falls.
Okay.
But yeah, lots of like weird runic, whatever. It kind of is one of those just like weird symbol magic,
vaguely
and then
magically looking.
And I kind of have this quick just flash cut to remind me and the audience that it's the same symbol that was in the book that Alice, the smart girl, was studying earlier.
Got it.
So I run into her and she says, like she's kind of hesitant, but I like show her the symbol. She says, okay, meet me at 10 p.m. at the admin building. Bring an Estonian English dictionary.
Ah, yes.
And I'm like, she's gonna summon the dead, basically.
For what?
Fun?
She knows things and I don't, so she doesn't fill me in on the whole plan.
For a laugh. It's a
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
First day of school, someone was like, hey, bring your hand here at 10 and let's summon dead people.
Do a thing Genie wouldn't do.
Rock and roll.
But yeah, she references that there was a book that was pulled from the library shelves and locked in the dean's office like 2 years ago.
Suspicious.
The Estonian English dictionary was
No,
locked
I think it was the book to
Oh.
cast the summoning spell or something. I'm
Got
not
it.
exactly. I think that's why we're meeting there. I'm not following completely on what that part of it was. But the 2 years ago thing.
Wait, isn't that what the third years?
That's why I'm wondering if it's related to the third years.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
20. Their
So
third
did
years, that
something
would have been their
happen?
first year.
Exactly. And I'm like, why would I? I'm kind of hesitant. And she's like, I'll help you get straight A's. Like she'll be my tutor or whatever.
What
and
is she getting out of this, though?
I think she needs me to pull off the spell.
Because
whatever
he's
reason.
touched by the runic magic.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut to the lab floor of the lab, and we're reading over these books. The mark on the hand, it just kind of is gone at this point. Like I take off the little cloth on it, and the mark's gone.
Ointment.
But we're trying to contact her brother Charlie, who died 5 years ago.
Not a great sign.
Oh, so that's what she gets out of it. She gets to talk to her brother.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Nobody would ever tell Alice how her brother died. All she knows is it happened 5 years ago, and it happened at the school, and she doesn't know other than
Kill
that.
count in the school is getting
wild.
concerning.
Yeah.
Man, the insurance rates.
Well, we're at what, 17?
Well, one
Yeah,
of them was natural.
18
One of them was
bodies?
natural.
We think.
Potentially.
I haven't seen the courtroom documents.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, this is the earliest death we had since Katya got Shatia.
That was fast. Love you, Katya.
Yeah, she's still alive.
But we are, we need to get this done by midnight. I think the spell needs to happen at midnight. And that's when somebody comes in.
Yeah.
Two people come in.
And it's just like, it's the two from earlier.
What are you doing here at 10 o'clock at night?
And you're like, you asked if someone sent us to help you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but I assume y'all need extra hands.
And that is true because apparently for this spell to work, we need 4 magicians.
Yep. And there's this moment when you are like thinking questions, but before you can say them, I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you're psychic.
Yes. Everything you think is so boring, I just replace it with dubstep. So I'm just ahead of the questions, and Alice is like, oh, we need 4 people, each magically adept, and here they are.
Yep.
Wait,
So-
who's the fourth?
The girl.
Girl, Katie.
Katie.
Oh, Katie's with you.
And I
Okay.
think
Oh, she said she's
whatever
going. Yeah,
I was whatever I was hearing
right.
Was
was
sending you here
sending me here.
to be the other 2 people in this spell.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is more than just psychic. This is like,
Predetermination.
yeah,
or-
precog.
Which
Or-
is why
or
he may
there's
not
some-
like psychic.
Or there's some other force willing this to happen. Who
Yeah.
knows? There's
Right.
1,000 explanations, and we have none of them.
Yeah.
So we're doing this ritual, and the clock, basically ticks over to
Something's
midnight,
brewing.
and there's a mirror behind us, and nothing
Nada.
happens.
Is it as it's not as sexy as Buffy?
It's not that sexy.
No, and then
No heavy breathing.
I'm like, damn. Let me know if shit gets exciting.
yeah, until you leave,
We leave.
and I start cleaning up, and then my next scene is in class again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty normal scene.
Yeah, very normal scene. They're talking about the effects of different metals. How like gold has these effects, and iron has these effects, and the professors are talking like in German, like reading
Yeah.
German poetry
It-
from memory or
It is
whatever.
an interesting concept of like the alloy you use in a spell could unintentionally enhance the effect of the spell.
Yeah.
And so if you're using like daggers or weapons or like relics in a spell, factor in the alloy.
Yeah, that's a thing
So
that's been
that's what you
kind
guys
of
did
popular
wrong?
in Magic.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know,
Maybe.
but I'm kind of.
It's a weird thing to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
After a failed spell, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of I'm still doing the thing I've been doing a lot this episode, which is kind of doing that trick with the quarter. I have like
the two-faced coin.
Yeah, where
roll.
like kind of rolling the coin over my knuckles or whatever, and then the clock hits noon, and the clock stops.
There's a weird time skip.
Skip
a weird,
or stop?
A weird shot skip.
Is there now?
And then
Ooh.
What do you see?
I see some things that go down.
Okay.
But maybe I don't see all of it.
I guess I'm not sure if I get more than you because it seems like everybody stops moving.
Yes.
Except I think everybody can move their eyes. Like
Yes.
everybody can look around.
Yes.
But can't move any muscles other than
Everything's
the ones
frozen
in
besides
their
eyes.
eyes. And there's another. I think it's the same mirror.
Yeah.
That we were doing this in front of, and then more of those weird butterfly bugs come through that mirror, and a man steps out of the mirror, and the man, his face is totally obscured by these
Butterflies. He's the butterfly man.
He's a
Like,
butterfly
It's the
man.
easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
and he starts like doing a little jig as he kind of like
Not so much tutting.
Just actual dancing, like
like
Yeah,
a
he's
little
very
bit. There's no-
fluid.
yeah, he's just kind of like, but like stepping around, kind of like.
Okay.
Every no movement is wasted. It is kind of stalkerish.
yeah, it's like
and
ballet.
It's dready.
A little bit, but he just kind of like takes a step forward and takes a step back, and then kind of like crosses his feet over as he walks through the room.
Okay.
Like he owns the place.
It's sociopath coded.
It kind of sounds like is this weird? But it kind of sounds like Willy Wonka,
I could see that.
like
yeah, a
walking
little
vibe.
bit. Yeah.
Okay.
And he starts tutting, and
I love it.
And our professor, who was just kind of reciting, this German thing from this poet philosopher, that guy just dies.
Yeah, he
Oh.
tuts. You hear things like moving, and it feels like his motions were like doing something within his body. And at some point, something cracks and he falls.
Yep. And then the dean runs in. So the dean somehow is immune to the spell or whatever, runs in, starts casting a spell.
Just magic missiles immediately.
Yeah. And the guy kind of shrugs off whatever the dean did to him, starts tutting some more, and the dean basically he does marionette motions a little bit, and the dean kind of freezes, and he kind
He's a
of
bloodbender.
starts a little bit of that kind of effect where he's controlling the dean a little bit. And then he walks up to the dean and rips his eyeballs out.
He places them on my desk.
Yep.
And then with an amazing shot with the blood on his fingers.
So there's 2 little eyeballs on the desk.
puts a little smile underneath it.
So a little smiley face.
Little smiley face.
So the dean, did he die?
Yeah.
Or
No,
just-
not yet.
Okay. Well.
Then he kills him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
He bites him or
Yeah, I don't know. There's
chomps? You can't see because the
can't-
butterflies
right.
are masking him.
but yeah, the dean falls over dead.
And we're just all like
And
eyes like moving and dotting around, and no one can move.
Huh.
Except my little pinky can move a little bit.
Yep.
And I have the coin on my pinky. And I move my pinky a little bit, and the coin falls to the desk and makes
Ding,
the
ding, 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 ding,
yellow.
ding, ding.
And the dude turns to me, and he says, "Quentin Coldwater, there you are."
And we like he looks close at Quentin, and you see a little bit of the
An
face,
outline of a
an
face,
outline
yeah.
of the face. So there is something there, masked by the butterflies.
Yep.
And that's the show.
And that's the end of the episode. All right, so we got
dead.
bodies on top of bodies
We got
on
eyes.
top
We got
of
eyeballs.
bodies.
I
All
thought
right.
this was gonna be fun. This is not fun.
Did you not hear 2 eyeballs and a smiley face?
That's fun.
That's fun.
Fun.
Yeah, it was cute.
It's an emoji.
He made an emoji.
He
on
made
a
an
desk.
emoji.
Wait, was the camera sideways? It could have been an emoticon.
Yeah, it
Ooh.
could have been. It's emoji
No, they're
IRL.
graphical because they were real eyes.
No,
not
listen.
it's
colon.
emoji.
What more
If you
fun do
rip out his
want?
colon,
you
maybe
got
it'd be
you got EMTs. You got air thrusting. You got
Air thrusting?
Penny and Katie. They were in
Oh,
the air.
the sex.
Yeah, you got tutting.
Uh-huh.
You got Dean's taking medicine. Dean's getting punished for taking medicine.
That's why that was
What do you
literally
mean
just
it?
law. He's just a cop.
Yeah.
The guy who came through is just a cop. He's
Yeah.
like, you took that kid's meds. Give me
I'm
your
gonna tut
eyes.
you to death.
Yeah, he was like playing MK9 and just came through and decided to get a little flirty with it and stole the dude's eyeballs.
Stasha thought she was in for a different show.
It's just
And
a little
she's
eyeball.
realizing how much murder per capita is happening now.
Listen, the eyeballs weren't that bad. They weren't that bad.
How were they not
because
that
you don't
bad?
see it's obscured by butterflies.
All right, are we done?
Butterflies are fun.
Butterflies are fun. Butterflies are a hoot.
They're like magic butterflies.
We're already over.
Yeah.
Wrap this up.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to add at the end of this?
I don't have anything. I
had
thought we
very
were in a
little
different
time.
show.
I
I mean, you're the one who read the book.
Buckle
really,
I did not get that far.
you didn't get to the eyeball chapter.
Definitely did not. I would have remembered
Clearly,
that.
like chapter 4.
I really like Penny. I like his vibe. And it's very much it feels like he's already playing cool, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
When there's something much deeper going on inside of him.
I'm
I mean, even from the beginning, like it became we're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
To now they're spending like more time together. Sure. And that's going to be a relationship. So like even that, he's not as fuckboy as he's pretending to
You
be.
say that now.
You were giving
Famous
yourself
last words.
Oh,
He's not
yes.
as fuckboy.
Infamous.
Maybe he's a
Infamous
fuck man.
I am curious to see because again, I had Eliot listed as the like sexual deviant of the group, and
No.
and not to say that
you're the wannabe
we can't.
deviant.
But that's what I'm saying is I am curious how much of Eliot's, after knowing that Penny is actually cool and hot and fucks, if Eliot is just wants to be that type of a magician, but is actually maybe a little bit more insecure on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't got a lot of
It
Eliot
was funny
time.
watching like in the initial scene and like trying to clock who I am.
Yeah.
And there was a moment in my brain where I'm like, we got one guy who is like vaguely ethnic. I think that might be my guy. I think that one's me.
You've been typecast.
You've been typecast.
I think, and then we got one scene. I'm like, wait a minute. No one else is here that really kind of feels like they matter. That's my guy.
That's
me.
your
That's
guy.
my guy.
That's me guy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you. I honestly don't think I saw your face. I probably did, and it was like in the background,
Yeah.
blurry in the shot in the dorm room. But I need to see Penny's beautiful chiseled jaws.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you got like classically. Are you like are you just like a built like a big classically
I
beautiful
wouldn't say-
man?
I mean, he's got
got, like-
muscles
yeah.
for sure, but
Yeah,
not
for sure.
like
He's not
WWE.
bodybuilder muscle.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like swimmer.
Hollywood actor type.
Yeah, he's a
yeah,
Hollywood
yeah.
actor.
yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, curious to see.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Mike, signing off. Left me as always.
It's Dasha.
In front of me as always.
It's Colin.
Right here, right now.
Brian.
Creeping in the background often.
Producer James.
We'll see you next time.
Bye forever.
For more information, go to popculturerollcall.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Our new theme provided by Stephen Rosbach. Find him at StephenRosbach.com for more of his work. Join us next week for another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call.